The Dust Bowl of the 1930s was a cruel and unforgiving time. The earth was cracked and barren, and hope was just as scarce. For 10-year-old Lily and her family, life was a daily struggle for survival. But their heaviest burden was Lily's illness. A persistent fever and a racking cough had left her weak and bedridden. The town doctor had a name for it: pneumonia, and a cure: expensive medicine they simply couldn't afford. Every penny they had went to meager scraps of food. The medicine might as well have been a million miles away. Lily's father, a proud man broken by the dust and the debt, would sit by her bedside, his face a mask of helpless despair. Her only comfort was old Bill, the family's aging workhorse. Bill was more than livestock, he was a friend. Before she got sick, Lily would spend hours with him, sharing her secrets and feeding him the rare apple she managed to find. Now, all she could do was watch him from her window as he stood in the dusty paddock, his head hung low, as if he could feel the sadness radiating from the small farmhouse. Bill was old. His workdays were long over. He was bony and tired, another mouth to feed that they couldn't afford. More than once, Lily had heard her parents discussing selling him for a pittance just to have a few more dollars. The thought broke her heart more than the illness itself. One morning things took a turn for the worse. Lily's breathing became shallow, her skin terrifyingly hot. The doctor was summoned again. "She doesn't have much time," he said gravely, avoiding the parents' eyes. "She needs the medicine within the next day, or she won't make it." The words hung in the air, a death sentence. Desperation, cold and absolute, settled over the house. It was in this atmosphere of utter hopelessness that old Bill did something extraordinary. He was standing in his paddock, the rickety wooden fence barely containing him. He could hear the muffled sobs from inside the house. He could sense the encroaching shadow of death. He looked across the barren fields toward the town, several miles away. A thought, clear and powerful as a lightning strike, seemed to form in his simple, equine mind. Help was in town. Lily needed help. But what could an old horse do? He was no stallion. He was no racer. He was just old Bill. Yet, he began to pace the fence line, a strange energy thrumming through his old body. Then, he stopped, turned, and charged. With a splintering crash, he smashed through the weakest part of the fence. He was free. But he didn't run for the open plains. He turned his head and set off at a determined, lumbering trot down the dusty road that led to town. It wasn't a fast pace, but it was relentless. His old joints ached, his lungs burned, but he kept going. He was a strange sight, a riderless, bony horse, trotting down the middle of the road with a look of desperate purpose in his eyes. People stared, but no one stopped him. He finally reached the small town, his sides heaving, his coat matted with sweat and dust. He didn't know what to do next. He just knew he had to get attention. He stopped in the middle of the main street, right in front of the doctor's office, and let out a loud, piercing whinny. It wasn't a sound of fear or pain. It was a demand, a summons. When people tried to shoo him away, he refused to move. He planted his feet and whinnied again, louder this time, a desperate cry for help that echoed through the quiet town. The doctor, hearing the commotion, came outside. He recognized the horse immediately. "That's the miller's horse," he said, puzzled. "What's he doing here?" He tried to lead Bill away, but the horse just whinnied again and nudged the doctor insistently with his head, pushing him toward his car. The doctor looked into the horse's eyes, and he saw something he could only describe as intelligent desperation. A chilling thought struck him. The horse hadn't just wandered off. It had come for a reason. He didn't waste another second. He grabbed the medicine for Lily from his office, jumped in his car, and sped toward the Miller farm, the old horse trotting tiredly behind him. He arrived to find Lily barely conscious. He administered the medicine immediately. For hours the family waited, praying. Slowly, miraculously, the fever began to break. Her breathing eased. By morning the crisis had passed. She was weak, but she was going to live. When Lily was finally able to sit up, Her father told her what old Bill had done. Tears streamed down her face. Later she was helped outside, and she wrapped her thin arms around the old horse's neck. "You saved me, Bill," she whispered into his coarse mane. "You saved me." The horse just stood there, content, nudging her gently with his head. Sometimes, when all human hope is lost and the world seems to have given up, salvation arrives in the most unlikely form, not with a roar, but with a whinny, driven by a loyalty so deep it can break down fences and conquer the impossible.